That's like when I got that doppelganger from Pounds. Um, I was amazed by how clean the lines were. They were so consistent. There's not one little spot that's not even. It's insane.
He looks like Carnage, but he has my costume. My voice.
If you want to see more videos like these, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to be the first to get the videos as soon as they upload. YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another Pounds 978 custom video, and right now I want to talk to you guys about the long-awaited Spider Carnage. Yes, finally got around to making Spider Carnage. A lot of people have asked me to make Spider Carnage, and I declined every time only because I was satisfied with Hasbro's version. Yes, I am satisfied with Hasbro's version. After making this, I can see why people want an accurate version of Spider Carnage. You see, I wasn't even too aware, like I didn't even know that Hasbro didn't accurately interpret the Spider Carnage's costume. I thought Ben Reilly and Spider Carnage were pretty identical, and they are for the most part. It's just Spider Carnage has those tendrils wrapped around his arms and legs, and I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that, but it just slipped past my mind after seeing Hasbro's version. I was like, oh, this looks good. It's a 2-for-1. So I always put Ben Reilly as one of my top Marvel Legends Spider-Man because it was a 2-for-1. So I bought, like seriously, I bought about 10 to 15 of those guys, and I have 4 of them left. So I keep 2 Ben Reileys and 2 Spider Carnages, and one of them broke, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'm kind of going ahead of myself, but I wasn't mad with Hasbro's version, so I declined every time someone asked me to commission a Spider Carnage. Yes, I did include the back logo on this one because I know how important it is to this figure. It's pretty much a front and back logo, and the rest is spider webs. I thought honestly this was going to be a lot harder than it turned out to be. It just takes some steps, as most customs do, but it wasn't as complicated as I expected it, honestly. Spider Carnage is a clone of Peter Parker infused with the Carnage symbiote. So this is Ben Reilly mixed with the Carnage symbiote, and he debuted in the Spider-Man animated series.
Hey, now I see what's been taking those idiot goblins so long. I wondered when you turned up again, dear.
This guy has issues. He is bad, bro. He is sick.
He's squeezing so I can't breathe.
Yeah, Spider Carnage is not to be played with. He is after all the clones.
What is this all about, Spider Carnage?
It's that clone I told you about. All that matters is the few more hours I need to assemble my ultimate weapon. Think of it. We'll use it to take control of people's minds.
For me, the more spider-like and symbiote-like characters there are, the more excited I get, because for me, those were like the most interesting characters growing up. Seeing Venom and, you know, Spider-Man. If it wasn't for Venom versus Spider-Man, I think I wouldn't really care, because it's a duality almost. It's like the good and the evil. But anyway, this Carnage is really cool. I do like the way it came out. I added sculpt. There are heads. These heads I did not create. I only painted them. These heads were created by the Collector's Place over on Instagram. So feel free to give the guy a follow if you're interested in created heads. I think these 3 were modeled 3D and then 3D printed, and they're pretty nice. You can buy them on eBay. I didn't. The person who commissioned the Spider Carnage sent them to me, and I think they'll come painted like that. I don't know. Again, you can hit up Collector's Place and see what you can work out with him. The ones I got were a deep red and had like symbiote tendrils on the head, in between the eyes. So I had to sand that off and then repaint the entire head from the eyes. The entire thing was repainted. But you can see before and after almost. These heads are great, and I want to get into them. But before I get into them, let me talk about the webbing, because I thought the webbing was going to be the hardest part, seeing that it was webs everywhere. Usually a Spider-Man stops because of the blue. But here, there's no blue on his upper chest. It's all red, so there has to be webs everywhere. But because of the big logo, there weren't that many webs to do. The only thing was trying to symmetrically even them out, you know, within the web lines, within the logo lines, I mean. And you can see that it's painted pretty much in every place that I could add the black. So I tried to get every crease, every crevice, and I think that's what Custom by Machu was mentioning in the early clip of this video, because I try to not cut any corners when it comes to making these webs. Like, this is what I kind of like, I want to say I specialize in, even though it's not really hard to do. It just takes it takes time. You guys know I have a web line tutorial if you want to know how to make spider webs, but for me everything looks pretty clean, and I'm pretty happy. The open mouth is probably my favorite from the three, but I want to talk to you guys about these tendrils on the legs and arms. Could you notice, if I can ask you, which ones are painted and not sculpted? These ones. These are not sculpted. On the thighs, on the crotch, on this other thigh here, and some lines, it's like probably two. One here, that is not sculpted, that is just painted, and that one is painted. And the reason is I didn't sculpt those lines, and I thought I could have made it without it, but as I was done sculpting, I said, I think I need more lines, and so I painted what I thought was missing. Those are sculpted, but there are a few lines that are painted. In the arms, I will show you too. That line right there is painted, and that line is painted on the inside because I needed it. It needed to connect somewhere. So some lines are painted, but most of them are sculpted, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, you could tell, I think, if you get it in hand, but from a distance, you can't really tell what's painted and what's sculpted. The red is deep enough that it kind of stands out on the entire figure. But I wanted to bring that to your attention because I didn't want someone to be like, hey, why is the crotch area just painted and not sculpted? But I did try my best to kind of align every tendril, so when you're twisting the thigh, you can align some of the tendrils, I guess, but they're not gonna always line up. But I think it looks pretty cool. It won't break off. I was pretty wary on where I placed them, so you can bend the knees at any position you want and they won't break. So I think I'm pretty confident that you can do what you want as far as articulation with this figure without any paint rub. Yeah, and I know some of you guys want to see the heads. I got one guy in the comment section like,
show me the money.
And I will. I just wanted to talk about the tendrils first because some of them were painted and some.
Show me the money!
Wow, bro. All right. I just wanted to talk about the tendrils first. Like, make sure you understood some of them were painted and some of them were sculpted. Here's the first head with the closed mouth. It's kind of closed. You can see he has it a little bit open where you can see his teeth still. And it's pretty cool. I think all three of these heads would work really nice for stop motion or some sort of animation because you see that it has a closed mouth kind of, and then a more open mouth with a grin, and then a completely open mouth. But this one is cool. Really quick, this body is an X-Men Deadpool. It's the yellow and blue, just so you can see. Another thing I want to mention about these heads though is that you'll have to re-drill the holes in the peg hole because they just won't peg right on the neck peg of most of your figures. But anyway, this is the second head. It's the mouth that's kind of open, but I think this one looks really nice too, so it might be my second favorite head. This is my favorite head from the three. It's the open mouth Carnage, and it looks like Carnage. The problem was that these teeth are really sensitive, so they'll break, and I had to fix 2 teeth. So be careful when you get that. Versus this one. This is the Hasbro version of Spider Carnage, and you can see the head is really slim. The other one is a little better for me because it has a jawline, and so it makes Carnage's head look more realistic or more cartoon-like. Or the way he was drawn, it just looks way more accurate than what the Hasbro version is. And Hasbro did a pretty good job, to be honest. I can see why they didn't add sharp teeth because it's for kids, but you can see it's pretty much a big improvement on that 3D rendered head there. That jawline is missing, and for me it's pretty important because it's one of Carnage's facial features. Spider Carnage versus Spider Carnage on the left, obviously you should know that that is Hasbro's. Well, and on the right is the one that I just created, and seeing them side by side, you can see they look pretty much the same. I wouldn't mind this. I still don't mind Hasbro's version. Like, I like Hasbro's version. The blue's a little less saturated. It's like darker than I'd like it to be, but it looks really nice. The webs are still pretty cool. The fact that it's Ben Reilly and Spider Carnage still, to me, is a great deal. So I'll never pass up, even if I see him in the wild again, even though you won't, because right now his price is shot way up. So good luck. But anyway, yeah, you can see that if you got Spider Carnage already from Hasbro, you don't need a custom. But if you want an accurate representation of what Spider Carnage really looks like, then you're gonna want a custom. And shout out to you, brother, because the guy who commissioned this also just purchased the Spider Hulks, and those were gonna be my personal collection, but he took them off me. So you are a true collector, bro, and I'm happy that someone like you has those in your collection, man. I couldn't be happier knowing that they'll be safe over there. And here's Ben Reilly, another pretty cool Spider-Man figure from Hasbro, but it's the same as Spider Carnage, obviously. But again, that's the reason why I like them, is that it's 2 for 1. You get essentially 2 characters for the price of 1, kind of, because you only get head and hand, so you'll have to buy another one. But still, you're close. And I like that, and I think Hasbro did a well enough job on this Spider Carnage that I didn't even really notice he needed the tendrils until someone brought it to my attention, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he did have them in the cartoon. Here are my personal collection of Ben Reilly's, the 2 that I have that are still good, this Spider Carnage that's still pretty good, and then this one which arm broke recently. Like, I took it out just to kind of use it as a reference to create this logo, and as I lifted the arm, bam, it snapped just like my symbiote Spider-Man. And I was kind of upset because I know these things cost a lot of money now, so I can't get an easy replacement like that. So whatever, now I only have 3. Sometimes I'll make posts and they'll be captioned like Hasbro versus 978 Customs, and I don't mean to do it in a competition way. I do it because I want to compare myself to Hasbro's quality. And I know Hasbro, people like to put down Hasbro, but for me it was an achievement for me to even get close to what Hasbro can make, because they are a machine, right? Like, they literally have a machine painting spiderwebs. So if I can get my spiderwebs close to the machine, well, then I think I'm pretty, I don't know, I'm pretty decent. But I have so much still to learn and so many techniques to discover, and you know, I'm never satisfied with anything I do, so I know I'm gonna improve little by little over time, and I think I have. One thing also I want to mention, that I didn't add any shading on this. I feel like it didn't need it. It looks good the way it is. Let me know in the comment section if you think that I should have shaded it a bit. Let me know at all. Let me know in the comment section what you think, period. Like, what could I have added to make it more menacing? Should I have, you know, those wrist gauntlets, those web shooters, should I have made them silver? Because I didn't. I just left them the mold that they came in, which is like a grayish color. So there are some things that I could have done to make this pristine, I suppose. But I like the way it looks, honestly. I think it looks menacing enough. It fits well with the rest of your Marvel Legends, and it's accurate to the Spider-Man series cartoon.
Ever since that spider bit me, the world has misunderstood me and tormented me. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna obliterate you all.
Well, guys, I'm gonna leave you here with some work in progress clips. But if you do like this video, feel free to give a guy a thumb up. Comment down below your thoughts on this Spider Carnage. What could we have done better? What do you like about it now? Things like that. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and click that notification bell if you want to get the videos as soon as they are uploaded, because YouTube has been hiding my stuff. So feel free to share this around to all your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
You choose to subscribe, you the man. Yes, you. Everyone below in the comments, yes, you too. Thank you very much for showing me love. Who knew? It's ironic how we think out the box for you too, right?
Sing, 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 sing. Everybody.